And we are live. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're live here. This is Casey, the Rockstarflipper. On November the 8th, it's election night, but since we're all much cooler than that, we're going to be right here on a live chat. And I have somebody very special that everybody has been asking for weeks and months and probably since the beginning of time. It's Nicole from States Place. She is here live with us. So say hello, Nicole.
Hey, everybody. It's Nicole.
It is Nicole. And, there's a whole bunch of like buttons. We're going to give just a few minutes for everybody to get in the chat so nobody misses everything. But we have a lot of things to cover. And we appreciate you guys being here. I know it's election night. I know everybody's probably watching. But take a break for a little while. We won't keep you forever. But we're going to plan for, like an hour? It's probably good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. Whatever. We'll just go with the flow.
Awesome. So there we go. We're already up to 60 people. That's awesome. That was quick. Sweet. So I know most of you already know who Nicole is, and you follow her. If you don't, follow her YouTube channel or her Instagram. She's got 6,500 followers, I think, on Instagram now, and about 8,500 on YouTube. Both of those links, I think they're already down there. If they're not, I will put them down there. I will put them down there before the end of the night. If they're not already, I'll have them edited in just a few minutes. But make sure to go follow her on YouTube and Instagram. She's a huge seller, huge YouTuber, and you can definitely learn a lot. I know most of you already know who she is, so but if you don't, definitely go check it out. And for those of you that don't already know her or don't follow her, I'm going to let Nicole introduce herself and talk to you a little bit about what she does and who she is.
Well, hey, guys. My name is Nicole State, and I have been selling full-time on eBay for just over a year now. I quit my corporate job. I worked in the for-profit college industry, which was fun. And I left that about a year ago, and now I'm full-time. And me and my husband kind of do it together. He's now doing some other stuff. So he does all the shipping, and then I do everything else. And we just hired an assistant as well. So we're like kind of a 3-person team, kind of like 2 if you put them together. But yeah, it works out.
How long ago did you hire the assistant? I know I've been keeping up on her for the last at least few weeks or month or so.
Yeah, not very long ago. I tried to hire an assistant a couple months ago. It's really hard to find someone who will work out. She was great, but she just didn't have the time. I think that when I hired her, she didn't actually, like, it was like a full-time job situation, you know? So, yeah, it was hard. So she kind of left, and then I hired somebody else, and she's been amazing. So she was here for a month, and then she went on vacation for a month, which I knew was planned. Like, I knew when I hired her, but I didn't realize how much I would need her, and I miss her. She's been gone for a week now, and I like want to cry every day.
It's so true. It's very difficult to find good help, which sounds cliche, but it is so true. And that's why I have my fiance and my family helping me, because I'm really bad at trusting anyone. So like I know it's bad to mix business and family, but I trust them more than anybody. So the fact that you were okay with her leaving a month after she came in is awesome. But I'm glad that she's working out better than you've had before. So.
Yeah, it was really hard to find someone. And I ran a small business for about 8 years, and I was a manager. And I remember every time we tried to hire someone, it's hard to find people who actually want to do the work. And I'm not saying that in like a negative light. I'm just saying it's hard to find people who want to sit and work for 8 hours and, not make $1 million. Like, I can't pay her, a ton of money, but I pay her a fair wage. And once you find someone, hold on to them. Like, do everything you can to make it right. After the first day, I was just going to have her come like 10, 20 hours a week. And the first day she was leaving, and she was like, okay, well, I can come Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll make it work. Like, even if wasn't in the budget before, it's in the budget now, because I know that I will profit off of having you here.
Yeah, if they're being productive, because that job isn't, regardless of the money, isn't for everybody. To sit and list and kind of do a monotonous, repetitive job, some people just can't sit and do that sort of thing every day. So when you find somebody that's consistent like that, it's definitely great to have somebody that'll do that. And then you don't want them to leave. Trust me, I wish I could pay everybody that works, lists for me more money. I wish I could, because the profit you'll get out of them is well worth it. Where did you find her by chance, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh, okay. Well, she's a family friend. So my friend Chrissy, she's on Instagram as frugal_living. And when we do like a reseller revolution hangout once a week on YouTube as well, it's her daughter. And last week my assistant was actually on the show for a while and like answered some questions, so that was fun. But yeah, so it's her. How old is she? 21. So she's in college, and her mom has like the best work ethic ever. So of course she does too.
How come she doesn't work for her mom? Is it just they don't want to mix that?
Her mom can't afford to pay her at this point with her eBay sales, so it's like it works better to have her here. But her mom totally keeps. She has like 2 bosses. Her mom will check in with me and be like, "So did she get done what she needs to do?"
That's not good for her. But I'll be honest. I hope she keeps with it because it is a good job. I mean, considering what other things you could be doing or being forced to do out in the real world, it's a great job. And it's how I started years and years ago. It wasn't eBay, but it was pretty much the same kind of online sales. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I worked it's been many, many years, but probably, I met Dave probably 9 or 10 years ago. He sells a niche merchandise, but it was going out to customers and listing merchandise on forum boards and Twitter boards, like the old school, that, you know, like people in one niche would be all on a forum board, and you'd list all the items you had for sale, and you'd buy all the, you know, on a different board, you'd buy all the items. So that was what I did for a long time. It was kind of weird, but that's how I started.
Really interesting. So can I ask you how many assistants do you have?
How many assistants? My fiance's sister is about a 30-hour a week. And my mom, who's retired, is probably like 15 to 20 hours. She just does a little bit. I gave her some mannequins, and then every week I'll take her a big bag of clothes, and she'll just list a couple hours every day and just throw up 10 or 15 items.
Oh, that's really cool, though. I like that.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much outsourcing every day, and they do all drafts. So I'll look at my phone about halfway through the day, and I'll have 30 or 40 drafts, and I'll go through and price everything and just check it. And then when I get home at night, I do the drafts again. And so that's how they just sit and photograph and list all day. That's pretty much
it. You're the one who gave me the idea to just do the pricing, actually.
Yep. I trust them now, and a lot of the stuff, if it's repetitive, they will price, and I'll go in and I'll see that it's already priced. I'm like, sweet, you guys got it. But you know, for the most part, that's me. I know what I paid for it. I know what I want out of it. I know how long we've had it. I know if it's been laying in the death pile for 6 months. So, you know, it's me that does it. I just don't trust anyone.
I feel the same way. I do the titles and the pricing still.
I'm working on doing the titles. We're getting there. We're really bad at it. We're bad at women's clothing. We're good at men's clothing, but women's clothing is...
Well, you do a lot of electronics, and I feel like you don't need a ton of like keywords for those, right?
No, you don't. You need the words Apple or iPod, and or Nintendo 3DS or PlayStation, and you're done. You're good. That's what makes it easy on Amazon, which is something we'll get into later. Amazon listing with you. But as far as like what we were just talking about, I know you do all of the sourcing. I don't know. I don't think Joe goes out too much with you sourcing. It's mainly you. I mean, we know most of your stuff comes from obviously the outlets, but where else have you been sourcing lately? Where else have you been finding deals?
I actually go to the mainline Goodwill, so I call it the mainline, right? Like the regular Goodwills, and some small thrift stores, but there's not a ton of like mom and pop thrifts around town. And I live in Oregon where it rains 9 months of the year, so there's literally a yard sale season. That season's gone. There's no more yard sales. But when there is yard sales, I definitely go out yard selling. I just recently decided that I'm not going to do hard goods anymore. I'm only going to do clothing. And so that limits me. So I used to go to auctions on Friday nights and do different things like that. But if I'm not doing hard goods, those things are kind of pointless for me.
I miss the auctions. We had a huge auction about 15 or 20 minutes north of us. We used to go to every Thursday night from like 6 to 10. And I did okay on the auction items, but what they would do is at the end of the auction, everything that didn't sell, that no one bid on, they would literally sell you like pallets of stuff for like $5.
Yeah, that's how ours does too.
Yeah, and so I used to drive, and again, I probably haven't had the Hummer in about 6 years, but I had a Hummer way back in the day. And I used to fill the Hummer so full that I couldn't have a passenger in the passenger seat or the back or the trunk of a Hummer of all this merchandise. And I would drive it home, and we would sell stuff on Craigslist and the beginnings of eBay. And that was all hard good stuff. And that auction closed down, which made it was so sad. And the guy was like 90 that owned it. He just retired and sold everything off. And I miss that auction. That was a good time. And that's when I started to get going and like having to be like, okay, I got to target electronics or something, and I got to target clothes. I can't just go out and buy whatever. Because I used to buy from that auction, you name it, I bought it. Like antiques and lawn tools, like specialty tool, everything that they had. I would just, if it was $5, I'd buy the whole pallet. That was it.
That's exactly what ours is like, and it's insane. Like at the end of the night, you just sit and you wait, and then they just put everything on. They don't do pallets; they'll put everything on a table, and then they auction off the table, and it'll be like $10. You know, they'll start it at like higher, and then they'll just drop it and drop it and drop it until they're like, okay, $5. Take someone just take this stuff. But I got wrapped in on that, and I would buy stuff I shouldn't have bought, like, you know,
it's
dish
true.
sets and things that I don't want to ship. So I have a small antique booth too, so I take a lot of that stuff over there.
Oh, you do? Everybody's got the antique booth. My man Chris, the Bonafide, he has a huge antique booth down in Austin. And he's actually went from selling like 10% of his merchandise to like 30% of his merchandise at the antique booth. He's really jumped in sales.
Oh my gosh.
He knows, he's really, down in Texas though, it's big business. Like they've got a lot of sourcing down in Texas. They got a lot of Western stuff and antiques, and he does a lot of bicycles. So
Portland is the same, I think. I mean, he lives in Austin.
He lives in Austin, yeah.
Okay, Austin and Portland are supposed to be like the same city, essentially.
That's what he said that he knows.
Yeah, so I mean, my antique booth would do a lot better if I actually put time into it, but I'll go like maybe once every 2 weeks. It's hard.
I don't even know how you have time for that. Like, it's ridiculous. After the conversation we had the other day, which was kind of leads to my next thing about growing sales. In addition to growing your sourcing, like you've been doing a lot on Poshmark lately to grow sales, like expanding. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I just want to shout this out really fast in the chat. If it's freezing for you guys, just refresh it. Just refresh your whole screen. A lot of people are saying the chat's freezing. So
yeah, the chat or the sound. I know a lot of people have so just refresh it.
So just refresh. And what was I going to say? Oh, Poshmark. So yeah, so Poshmark is an app, and it's only in the US right now, so you're not going to get any international buyers. But it's only for clothing, so it's, you know, men's, women's, and children's. They are selling something every 2 seconds on Poshmark at this point, so it is a very big platform. And I'm doing about $100 a day on Poshmark, which is pretty good because I've only been doing it about a month, 6 weeks at this point.
Wow. That's I was just doing some quick math. You said every 2 seconds. That's 43,000 items a day, give or take.
Yeah.
At an item every 2 seconds, and that's just in America. So that's a huge marketplace. That's pretty big for something that's just grown in the last 6 months, 6 to 12 months.
Right, and the fact that it's only in America. I mean, these aren't international sales; these are just in America. So I definitely see that as something that's going to be bigger for me in the future. I have limited time right now, especially with when I had my helper here, I was really focusing on getting that going. So when she comes back in a month, I'll start focusing on it again more. But my goal, I have like this little challenge for myself that I want to do 10,000 in sales on Poshmark before April.
So that's pretty. That's a pretty big goal. I mean, at 10,000, I mean, you're talking about 3,000
a month. So I'm hitting that goal right now. So last week I moved 400. I'm doing a weekly series on it. So I've been moving about the right amount of money over, and I'm going to take the family to Disneyland for my birthday.
Yeah, I saw your Disneyland goal. I'm watching that. Assuming that you're doing that $335 a day, I don't know your average, but probably what, 20, 25 bucks on Poshmark per sale?
Poshmark is actually way larger. So I'm making way more on Poshmark than things generally will sell from on Poshmark, but it is more stylized. So you're only selling the like hipper, younger brands.
Yeah, it's definitely more specialized. I have not sold anything yet, which isn't for the lack of I want to. It's just time a little bit, but I was trying to learn as much about it as I could before we just jumped into it. And we've just got going on the women's clothing, so which I know is probably the biggest part of that market. I don't know that men's clothing sells very much on there.
I think it's more like the streetwear brand. Somebody is asking in the chat how much social networking I do on Poshmark, and that's a really good question. Okay, so for those of you who aren't selling on Poshmark, it kind of works like almost like a Pinterest and an eBay put together. So you list your items and you have a closet, right? So you have all your items in this closet, and then you can share your items to either all your followers, so you get followers that follow your closet, or you can share your items to the they have parties 3 times a day, and the parties will have themes, like branded themes or like women's jacket, you know, like just different themes. So you share anything that you have in your closet that fits that theme into the party. And then the people who are hosting the party, there's usually like 5 or 10 hosts that they pick. Those people can do host picks, and they'll like spotlight your product. So if you get a host pick, then you're getting probably like, you know, 10,000 people who are seeing your one thing and getting led to your closet. So there's a lot of way to actually control the people who see your stuff, to where eBay, you know, eBay is my first love, but with eBay, you have to get that best match, and you have to do all of that. You know, you really have to get those algorithms down.
Yeah, the algorithms. Yeah.
Poshmark isn't like that. You're in control. You know, how much time you, so I didn't share anything for like 3 days, and my sales totally dropped off.
That makes, and that's why you have to be able to dedicate that time, which is why you kind of got to wait till she gets back. Yeah.
Yeah, so right now I'm paying her to share for me. It was her birthday this weekend, so she hasn't done it in a few days, but she's actually sharing for me like twice a day for an hour, and so I'm paying her to do that while she's gone.
That's like almost a dedicated job. Like, you could definitely have somebody spend a half a day just running that. But if it's doing $300 or $400 a day in sales,
Right.
what you pay an employee, it's just like eBay. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's just like somebody listing on eBay waiting for something to sell. I always call eBay like the shingle effect. Like, you're kind of just hanging your shingle out there and you're waiting for somebody to come to you. It sounds like Poshmark gives you the ability to kind of direct market to customers faster. So that's kind of enough. I'm really gonna have to get started on it. I know I'm slacking on it, but I'm gonna have to.
Once you get started and you get those first sales, it's awesome. Also, you don't have to deal with shipping or customer service on there. So your customer pays for all the shipping. It's so cool. It's Joe's favorite thing, because he, you know, he's always on me about my cost of shipping for certain things. And so they send you a shipping label. It's priority mail 2-day. And then you just print it off. And I usually use like the Tyvek envelopes.
Yeah.
And then you just send it off, and then you do not get paid immediately. That is the one thing that people complain about, but it makes sense, and I like it, because what happens is here's the trick about Poshmark. And if you know anything about like marketing and stuff like this is why Poshmark works. People don't get their money. So your money goes into a wallet, and your wallet is on Poshmark, and your money gets released once the person gets their item. So say I sold something for $50. I ship it the same day. In 2 days, they say, oh, I got my item, and it gets released. If they don't say they got it, then they give them 2 days to check it in. So essentially, it could be up to 4 days from the time you send it out to get your money. But that's fine, because once they release your money, it just goes into your wallet. And you can either choose to send, you know, leave it there, which a lot of people just leave it there. Or you can send it to your bank account. So the people that leave it there, it's so easy to shop. You don't feel like you're spending real money.
That's kind of bad, though, because like I feel, well, for me it probably wouldn't be so bad, because I'm not one to like, obviously I probably wouldn't be spending too much money on Poshmark, but I could see you and Megan and the Reseller Revolution girls having a problem with that. Like,
oh, I have a big problem. The first like 2 weeks, I spent every penny that I got.
That's a problem. So,
and then I realized, yeah, why we're so smart, because every woman is doing this.
Yeah, and that is part of the reason why Poshmark is working. I would imagine that, so if you think to eBay in terms of that, like the whole PayPal transfer to your bank account 2 days, and even though the money's available right away, you know, you kind of want to keep a little bit in there. So the not getting paid right away is really only a delay of maybe a day, honestly. So
right,
it's not a huge downside. And like Amazon is probably the worst for this. Amazon only pays you every 2 weeks. And a lot of people don't realize that. So Poshmark is really working that angle of being right there with getting paid quick and providing the customer with 2-day shipping, which is how Amazon grew so fast, which is another reason. Yeah, the customers are being forced to pay $6, but people are okay getting that 2-day shipping. People are so on board with that. So, yeah, I guess I need to grab 10 items and put them up tomorrow.
It just makes sense. And like, the thing about Amazon though is you can't spend that money on Amazon when it's in your thing, can you? Or can? No, on Poshmark, while it's sitting there, they let you spend it.
That's right. That's awesome. See, no, if Amazon let me spend the money that was in my Amazon,
you wouldn't have any money.
I'd be out of business. I'd be done.
Yep.
That would be it, because there is so much stuff. Oh my God. No, the Amazon money is on lock until day 14, and then you don't withdraw it. They just send it right to your bank account. Amazon, you pay with a credit card. That's the only option you get, basically. So that's actually great that you brought that up. The Poshmark drawing those sales in and bringing those, probably a lot of repeat customers, I would imagine, once they get to know you. That's a great way to like build your sales, because I know a lot of people, and they ask me, and they ask you, and they ask everybody how to grow sales. Like they're stuck at maybe 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 a month. Like how can they reach beyond where they are? And I think that's great that you've brought. Poshmark is one option. And I mean,
Right.
what do you think? How do we tell those people that are stuck at a couple thousand dollars? How do they grow beyond that?
It's so, I mean, as far as eBay goes, I'm kind of stuck at the number that I'm at right now because you only have so much time in the day, So you have to figure out what's wrong. So I kind of got stuck at this number, and I was like, okay, like what am I missing? Why am I not growing? What's going on? So you have to brainstorm. So I figured out that mine was time. So I had to buy more time from somebody else. So it depends on what your problem is. Is your problem you're not able to source enough stuff? Is your problem you're not actually listing anything? Is your problem that, you're not putting any time into it? Maybe you have a job and you have kids and you only have a couple hours a night. You have to figure out what your problem is to start with and then go from there. Because everyone's going to have a different problem.
For sure. I know a lot of our viewers, both of our viewers are part-time. A lot of them have jobs. So I know that holds them back. And I know most of them they're not going to quit their job to jump into this. They want to build on the weekends. So you got time management is super huge. And if Poshmark is quick, like I'm pretty sure you said it's super fast to list on and super fast to work. So it might be a good option for people that haven't used it to try it out.
Yeah, and I mean, you can lay in bed and just share your stuff, and it's so easy, especially if you already have the stuff on eBay. I just cross-post. I just copy and paste my description, and I mean, there's no extra work. It's just 30 extra seconds maybe,
Yeah, that's a woman's dream, sit in bed and social media network to sell some clothes.
I love it.
Megan is in the room, Megan State, and Johnny Glover's here, and Red Rocket. There's a lot of people, everybody here. Thanks for being here, guys, on tonight. I appreciate it. Joe State's here. I think you know that guy pretty well.
Yeah, there's Tanya from Thrifty Treasures, and she just said something really funny. She said to turn off Facebook.
To turn on Facebook?
No, turn off Facebook to get more done.
Oh, how are you going to grow yeah, that's true. True story. Well, listen, I imagine a lot of people are going to turn Facebook off tomorrow. I have a pretty good guess.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's move on. I was actually scrolling because everybody said that she had a funny comment. I couldn't find it, so I'm glad you said that. I was scrolling up and I couldn't find it. And that's kind of like everybody's been asking me recently too. How do they go from that part-time? Like if they're limited, if they have a job or they have kids, because you have kids as well. Like how do you go from being part-time to being able to get, like they're making $1,500 or $2,000 a month, but they need to make $4,000 to go full-time to replace their regular income. How do they? I don't have kids, so it's really hard for me to really, help with that. This is the kid that I have.
We have a really ugly dog.
Oh.
She's like a pug mix, and she has this like huge underbite with these teeth.
Oh,
it's so good. What am I saying? So I think my story is kind of interesting and maybe will help some people. So I started in June of last year. We moved into a more expensive house, and I was like, okay, well, I have to find a way to like make up the difference, and I'm going to sell on eBay to do that. So I started selling after work. So I'd come home from work, I'd work my regular 9-to-5 job, come home from work, and I would list, right? So I would hang out with the kids until they went to bed, and then there was no free time for myself. So you have to be realistic and see how much time you're going to put into it. So I would literally list. I would take all my photos, and then I would go, well, I wouldn't list. I would take all my photos. I would take all my photos at nighttime, and then while I was at work the next day, because I worked in the city, so sometimes I would ride the train, I would have lunch, like I had some downtime, I would do all my listings on my phone.
Making the most. Yeah, that's something a lot of people always tell me they don't have time, and I tell them stories like yours. Like riding a train home, making 10 listings, or, you know, like whatever it is, you got to make the time. Like I saw a cool pie chart the other day where, you know, it said sleep and your full-time job and your kids. And then the end was the excuse I had for not having time. So it comes back to time management again.
Yeah. So I now, for time management, what I do now is I actually block my time. So I know it's really crazy, but I even block my sleep schedule because I wasn't getting enough sleep. So I have my day laid out and I have it in time blocks. So like from, let's say 10 to noon, I'm listing. I'm not doing anything else but listing, and I have a goal. So I have a goal of making, you know, let's say 30 listings from 10 to noon. When noon hits, I have to stop. And so a lot of us, you know, we put things off until the last minute. You know, we'll put it off and say, oh, I'll do that later. I'll do that later. My later is now. If I don't get it done by noon, I can't do it. So that really kicks you into gear when you start blocking out your time like that.
Well, that's too, because like we have schedules or whatever, and a lot of people, they do what you say, you know, oh, you know, if I don't get it done right now, I'll just do it later tonight. But if you schedule later tonight to where you have things that have to get done later tonight, whether it's me making a YouTube video, or it's me taking an hour to respond to emails and messages, or whatever it is, if I know there's stuff going on later, I can't do these listings later, or I can't go to the store later. So it has to be that block. It has to be 10 to noon. It has to be 11 to 1, whatever it is. So some people are better at that than others. And I'm guilty of the, like if I schedule everything and I have an hour or two, I will waste that hour or two rather than scheduling something productive. I do it all the time. Like I will go to my room and like lock myself in my room. And I'm like, no, this is free time. And thank God I have my fiance and my mom. This is another reason I have my family. They will call my phone off the hook until I get up and work. Like if my mom will call me and be like, hey, I need pictures of X item. I accidentally deleted them. Or can you check those descriptions or drafts? Or can you do this? Can you clear the drafts? And I'll be like, yeah, Mom, I got it. And she's like, oh, yeah, you got Christmas too. Yeah, let me get right on that.
I love it. So I have a thing in the morning, like I like coffee a lot, and I will sleep in. Joe gets up in the morning with the kids and takes them to school, and so I sleep later than him, but I'm usually up, you know, we manage, that's our home life, whatever. But I know I don't have coffee unless I get out of bed because I don't have a coffee pot at my house. And so what I was really struggling with was getting out of the house, because I would just sit in my pajamas all day and I'd be like, I'm gonna go later. You know, managing yourself when you're home all day is really hard.
It is.
And so what I do now is I have to leave the house to go get the one thing I love. It's like the carrot in front of the horse, right? And so I know I have to get up and I have to shower and I have to put on my clothes and I have to walk past Joe, who's probably trying to talk to me, and I'm probably yelling at him because I really want coffee. And I have to go downstairs and get in my car and go get the coffee. And I'm not going to go to the coffee shop. You got
rid of the coffee machine out of your house? Like gone?
Yeah, no, I don't have a coffee machine here.
Oh my God. I am totally doing that for my fiance because she's like the K-cup queen. Like that should be her name on YouTube, I swear. But I'm going to do that because if she walked past me at like 9 in the morning and there was like no coffee maker here, I'm pretty sure our house would be upside down before she made the front door. So I'm going to...
Okay, Joe's in the chat right now. He can tell all the viewers what happened this morning. I was yelling at him for no reason because I just didn't want to talk to anybody. But it works for me, and I spend money. I get it. Look, I spend money on coffee, guys. It's okay because I make money because I get myself up. That's
right. The extra couple hours you're not laying around procrastinating, the $5 on coffee or $4 or whatever is, you'll make it. No problem.
Yeah, and as a reseller or someone who works from home, sometimes it's hard to get yourself out of the house.
It is. And the worst is like if you don't have anything going on, you're even worse because you're like, oh, I don't have a lot to do. But those are the days that you should be doing more because you don't have a lot going on. So you have to make the most of the days that you have free time. And some people just, they're not good at doing that. And I've seen a lot of people fail. I've known a few people who've tried to do what I do, and they're really bad at motivation and time management. My motivation is I hate being inside. I hate being in a house. I can't be here. I can't stand here. I got to get out to the car and I got to go. I don't care where I'm going, where it is. I just have to leave. Like, I cannot be here. So that's why I have Yeah, I can't be in the house. Like, I love being on the computer and working, but during the day I got to go. And the other thing that's motivation for me, and you're going to probably cry over this, our bin stores are not open like your bin stores. Our bin stores close at 2 p.m.
What?
Yeah, they're open from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you get there at 8 a.m., like, you can get a cart and all that stuff, but they usually don't even roll merchandise out till like 8:45. So there's no point in being there before like 8:45 or 9. So like if you want to get there at 9, that's fine, but you've only got 5 hours to shop. That's it. And that's both of the ones that are within 30 minutes of me. And there's another one that's an hour away from me they close at like 3. None of them are open past 3. None.
That is crazy.
Nobody believes me, and I'm like,
okay, so do you have the ones that have the big Gaylords, or do you have the blue buckets?
They're both. So the one that I go to is Gaylords. The only thing they put on the blue bins is purses and shoes. And
okay.
That one is in Tampa. It's actually, so Tampa and St. Petersburg are separated by a bridge. It's on the St. Petersburg side of the bridge. I live in Tampa. But it's literally, as you pull off the bridge, you merge into the merge lane. So I still call it Tampa. It's like 30 minutes. And then the other one is in Lakeland, Florida, which is halfway between Tampa and Disney World. And that one is out in an area that is a lot of, and I want to be politically correct about this, but it's the honest answer, and they're okay with it. It's a lot of farmers, it's Spanish people, and it's also like hillbillies, redneck. It's a lot of country people. And so the quality of merchandise isn't as good, but they have 10 times the merchandise, which is nuts. And they have, I would say it's 90% closed. They have very little house goods. But they probably have at any given time about 60 Gaylords to close out.
Whoa, that's huge.
Yeah, it's in rows. I mean, it's literally in like rows of 6 or 7 Gaylords all the way across the building. But the quality is not so good, and it's packed.
Okay.
It's packed.
Yeah.
And they
I think that, I mean, you're gonna hate me, but I'm really lucky where I am. Portland has I can drive to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bins within like half an hour of me.
I have 2 within a half an hour. One that's an hour, which is south here near Sarasota.
But yeah.
The Sarasota one is all blue tops, but it's all house goods. There's very little clothes, like no clothes at all. I hate that one. And then the other 2, there are 5 here. There's 3. There's 2.5 hour, 1 an hour, and then the other 2 are out by Disney World. The Disney World are cool because they get a lot of collectibles and Disney merchandise, which is awesome, but it's like an hour and 25, hour and 30 minutes for me, so it's kind of, I have to plan that day pretty well. But those ones aren't bad. I haven't been to them that often, but I want to go back out there. I got like a Disney World collectible statue thing one time. By weight, was it maybe like $2? I think I sold that for like $89. There's Disney merchandise that's just off the hook there.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So I live in the Nike headquarters, like world headquarters, is it like 5 minutes from my house. So we get I get the craziest like samples and stuff. You know, someone just found these Hello Kitty Hello Kitty Nikes, where only 13 of them were produced in the whole US. They're like one of the most sought after pair of Nikes, I guess. They found them at the Goodwill that I go to almost every day for $13.
$13, and they were probably what, a couple $100?
No, like
More?
Thousands. They sold to the museum.
That drives me nuts. I've seen people. I saw somebody find. Oh, there goes some focus. Somebody here found a signed Disney lithograph thing by the artist for Beauty and the Beast. And I think they sold it. They ended up. I knew their eBay channel a while back. I think they got like $499 for it or something. I think it was like $2. And that's the person that goes to the Disney World ones all the time.
It's so cool.
I know. So you guys are lucky. Doesn't your bins open till like 7 p.m. or something?
8 to 8. And I went for 12 hours the other day.
Yeah, your open to close was nuts. I can't even imagine. I could do it. It wouldn't be a very big accomplishment to be there for 5 hours, but.
Oh my gosh, I will never do it again. It was definitely worth the experience, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without my Instagram community because they were all cheering me on, like, go, you can do it. I wanted to leave so bad, But, you know, I had them, like...
Did you eat twice while you were there?
Once.
Just... Oh my God.
People bring their food, though. Like, there's people... The other day I went, and there was, like, all the regulars were just eating at one of the tables there. They, like, home-cooked a meal, and they'll, like, you know, all the regulars will buy each other food and bring it, and they'll stay all day or whatever. They're all super nice.
What? No, at our bins, they'll throw the food at you. There's no niceness at our bins. Are you kidding me?
Portland is, like, the most passive community. We love everybody.
You guys definitely have it, like, seriously luck. Like, I'm impressed. And I hear even from, like, people out in California that the bins are pretty cool there. So, so much for living in a cool state of Florida. So we totally went off. I had this outline. We totally went off it. It's fine. It's cool. And oh my God, we've already been on an hour. But I want to jump onto you. Have you ever considered going to Amazon? Like, I'm just curious of your thoughts on this. Like, if you've ever tried selling on there. Or...
Oh, I didn't really. I thought it was only half an hour that we've been on. I'm losing it.
No, we have been on half an hour. You're right. I usually start at 9. You're right. We started at 9:30. You're right.
We did, right?
Yeah, we did. We've been on 37
minutes. I was like, wow, that was really fast. No, I'm not selling on Amazon.
Ever?
No. So I actually just did. Do you know who Reezy Resells is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like a big seller, super nice guy. I did an interview with him this week, and he was trying to get me to sell on Amazon too, and I was just like,
was he trying to get you to sell books or just anything?
Anything. He was super. He's like, I didn't know him before the interview, and I have to say he's a really cool dude, right?
He's pretty chill. I haven't had him on, and I want to have him on. He is like a book expert, and the guy he's really smart about what he does. No doubt. You're totally right about that.
Yeah, so he does books mainly, and he's turned it into $1 million business. I mean, today he showed a picture of him sending pallets to Amazon. He doesn't even just send in boxes anymore. He does pallets at a time.
Yeah, freight. Amazon, so the FBA option for freight, the shipping is insane. So, I mean, you can imagine what shipping a box of books would normally cost us, like, you know, $30, $40 for a box, and he sends out a pallet for $30 or $40. Like, you literally can ship a book for like 10 cents.
Are you kidding?
So the inbound shipping to FBA goes off of Amazon's bulk shipping rate. So I shipped a box of some stuff that I bought, and I think it was like 30 pounds. I don't know what it was. And I think I shipped that box to the warehouse from Florida to New Jersey for like $4.50. I mean, a huge box. So he's shipping pallets for nothing. Like, their bulk rate is insane. So the more you can get, and that's where people make the more money, because if you're shipping little boxes and you're spending $1 a book, you might make $5 or $6 or $7 on a book. But if you can ship thousands of books, all of a sudden you're only spending 10 cents a book. You're making an extra $1 per book times 1,000 books. It adds up. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and his goal is to do that every day. Send pallets of books every single day.
He's really lucky too, because where he is, I can't remember the city. I know he's in North Carolina, but is he near?
He's not, but he asked me not to share where he was. So let's not do that if you do know.
I don't know the city that he's in. I don't know. I mean, I'm totally guessing that I did. But wherever he is, it doesn't matter. He's got a lot of book sources that I don't have in Florida, and that I know somebody else that doesn't live near him but has the same stores that he has, and he's doing the same thing, 100 books a day, and killing it. He's going to do 500,000 or 600,000 this year. And I'm like, man, I send in like 2 books. I should be
so crazy. The stuff he was telling me about was just like so insane, and I'm so like, I think that what he's doing is cool, but I don't want to do it.
FBA is good because you don't have to handle the merchandise. You bring it in, flip it away. The problem with FBA, beyond the storage fees, you better be good at what you buy, or you're going to pay storage fees on stuff that's not moving. The other problem with FBA is you got to really, like, the prices fluctuate so much. Like, you have to have a source that's such a good price that it doesn't matter how much it fluctuates.
Yeah, and look, here's what I have learned from FBA. I like to take like all these other platforms and apply it to eBay, right? And so people on eBay are like so set on their prices, and so like, oh, it has to be this price forever. But FBA, you're selling on FBA, you're changing your price every day.
Yep.
Why aren't you fluctuating on eBay too? Because that's market, like, And so I've definitely learned that from FBA, like watching these FBA sellers make money, is you don't have to have the same price for your shirt for 5 years. Like, it just doesn't work that way.
No, absolutely right. And that's kind of the up and the down of Amazon. Like, the race to the bottom is really bad. I had a book, and this is just a perfect example. It was How to Train a Deaf Dog, like a dog that can't hear you. I got it at a yard sale for like 50 cents or $1 or something. And it was on Amazon for like $25. And I sent it in, and by the time it got to Amazon a week later, it was down to like 15. But there was like 15 copies of it. Well, by the time the rest of them sold, and I hadn't repriced mine from 25 or 30 bucks or whatever, mine ended up selling at the lowest price for 25 or 30, and I never touched it, simply because so many of them sold.
Yeah.
The popularity of the item, you know, some people like to race to the bottom. I just like to leave it and watch. Like, if all the rest of them sell, your item will sell. And so it's kind of a sit and watch game. If none of the rest of them are selling, then great, lower your price. But like on eBay with a lot of stuff, you have the only one. You know, like you have a shirt that you're not going to find that exact shirt. You might have a J. Jill or a Free People shirt that no one else has that shirt. So you're just.
I don't really find that true, I guess, for the stuff I'm selling. I'm selling like the modern, you know, the last 5 years or so. And usually there's at least a few of them up on eBay. And the thing about women's clothing is, like, usually the women that are buying on eBay or whatever, they're going to look for a deal. They're going because they're bored and they're just online shopping, you know. Yeah. So I have to be competitive with that. So if I'm not checking my prices and I'm not seeing, okay, I've had this shirt up for a month, didn't sell, like, what's going on? And I go in and I see that everybody else's price is lower than me. There's 5 other ones on there. It's not something like Amazon, like a book or something, or even like an electronic where it's going to be selling every day. If they think that shirt's cute, but it's too expensive, they're going to just go and get another cute shirt.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of options. Is that kind of the same on Poshmark, or do you think it's a lot easier?
Poshmark is different. I haven't quite figured it out yet. You got to ask me that question in like 6 months, because right now I'm being able to sell things for more money. But you don't. So the way you see items is different on Poshmark. So you see like a big thread of items and you like scroll through them. And then they do it by like time it's put up. So you're not necessarily seeing the exact same shirt all grouped together.
So let me ask you, with right while you're on that, if you put up a red striped Free People shirt, somebody can't, like, it's not easy for them to search and find a shirt just like that.
Not necessarily. Maybe if they knew exactly what the name of that shirt was or something. Yeah. But if you're just looking at red striped Free People shirt, you can't search by high to low price either.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw some people.
So that's great for me. Not great for buyers, great for me. And so you're just going to have to scroll, and what you're going to do as a woman, you're going to be scrolling through, and you're going to be like, oh, red striped shirt, $20. Okay, done. I like that one.
So it's more of like it's pulling in those. The person sees it. I would say it's kind of a spur of the moment purchase.
Oh,
like they see it and
absolutely, always.
They don't want to go past it. They don't want to lose the chance of buying it. Yeah, that's pretty. So another plus to. I'm seeing all these pluses. We're gonna have to definitely give it a shot for sure.
Yeah, because you're sitting there, like when I'm a buyer on Poshmark, I am just like, you know, refreshing and looking at the things that are coming in, and I see something at a good price, and I'm like, oh, that's the thing I want. It's in the price I want. Buy.
Yeah, and so that's that spontaneous. That's really, I mean, the number one way of making sales is spontaneous on point sale. So that's a really good I mean, Poshmark seems like they're doing it really well. I mean, they've got the right algorithm, the right formula for making sales. So what are, like, from Poshmark to eBay, like, is there different types of things or brands you're seeing selling better on one or the other? Like, as opposed.
Absolutely. So do you have the new, I was actually looking at this today. Do you have the new seller, what is it?
The source growth?
Yeah.
Source tab? Yes, I do. Okay. I got it. Hold on. Before you go into that, I got a lot of hate for having that. And I'll tell you guys what, I shared it in one of my videos because it changes. It's constantly changing. It's the sales update. But I shared a screenshot of one of it in one of my videos. This was probably, 3 weeks ago or something. And people were like literally bidding for me to give them screenshots daily that did not have that option.
Oh, so bad. I didn't have it till 2 or 3 days ago.
So
you know what my life was like? It was horrible. I couldn't deal with it. My friends would be telling me, and I'd be like, just stop. Just
like mental, yeah. People were I was getting private messages of people begging me for it, and I was like, listen, I will share it like once a week or every other week or something, but I could be auctioning this off for big money. People were hating on me so bad. I'm like, I don't know what the requirements were to get it, but it was completely beta. I hear next month it's going to be everybody's going to have it. So
that's good news. So, okay, look at this. This is what I've learned from the sourcing guide and playing with it. Can I just say we have 180 people watching?
That's incredible. Nice. It's awesome. We only have 102 likes, though, so we're missing a few people, just in case you're one of those people.
Well, that's okay. Hey, but okay, check it out. So I'm looking at the sourcing guide today, and I'm like, oh, okay, like let's see the brands that are selling, right? You can see like the brands, top brands. Every single category, every single one of them are all mature brands.
Yeah.
So you're talking about your J. Jill and your Chico's and, brands like that. All your mature brands. All this stuff, the demographic for that is going to be like 35 and up, probably. Poshmark, the opposite. So the younger generation.
So you're selling like 18 to 24-year-old demographic, pretty much? Yeah,
like 18 to 30, maybe 35. I mean, I'm 30, and I would shop. That's where, I'm finding the stuff that I want on there. And so, you're talking about your free people and your nasty gal and those type of brands that are, really trendy and hip.
And it's super good that you point that out. And I would be curious of you looking at your customer base, where you've shipped to, because all the brands that you and Megan and Troy, I don't know if you know Troy, he's out in California as well, that everybody sells out there are brands that we don't have in Florida very much. I know that sounds crazy, but we don't have Free People and Anthropology and J. Jill. It's very rare to see that stuff here. The only reason I know about it is because of you guys, and even Poshmark came from you guys. So, like, I wonder if you ship your stuff out west a lot. Like, do you think a lot of your sales are in California, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Nevada?
I don't know. I don't pay Joe. I don't ship anymore.
You're shipping, yeah, that's true.
I'm not like in shipping at all, and I don't actually pay attention. Maybe I should, but.
Nasty Gal is a huge brand that I knew about because I read a lot of entrepreneur stuff, and so I knew about her and I knew her story. But what's her Amorosa? Sophia? Yeah. So I knew her story, and but we never see her clothing here. You never see it. So like you guys are so lucky.
I don't see it very often. You're gonna find it more in like LA and places like that. But I feel like people are buying it all over the place. Like people still want that stuff. You're just not finding. They can't. Nasty Gal has. I don't know if they do anymore, but they had an actual storefront. Anywhere where there's a storefront of that brand, you're gonna find it.
Well, yeah, I know that people here would buy it like crazy because I know people want it. But us being able to find it, like me as a sourcer, I just can't find it anymore. And like I would love to like. Come on over to LA and source LA, because I'm sure you guys throw like Louis Vuitton shirts over your shoulder, like, whoop, yeah, we get those every day, and like we're like, what, Louis Vuitton, like mob scene it, like Free People, what? So like you guys definitely have it awesome. Like, what is the best? Like, I mean, I know you sell a lot of Free People and Anthropology. What other brands like on Poshmark are like? And you said it's the younger thing, so like those are all the brands that are shipping out, and you're getting higher prices as well.
You're talking about like your Lululemon, that immediately sells. Your UGG boots. Every time I get a pair of UGG boots, they're gone in like a day. And the great thing about, I won't sell UGG boots on eBay anymore because they like to bureau people, even if they're real.
Yep.
There's so much, counterfeit. So I don't want to deal with that. So I only list them on Poshmark now.
And they're not monitoring that. You don't have a problem.
They don't monitor it. Yeah. So
that's awesome, because they're on the top 100 Vera list, which I'll have to show you one time. But there's a huge Vera list that they're on.
The Vera list is crazy right now. So anything on that list, I don't touch on eBay because I can't risk my account. So I only list that stuff on Poshmark, and it's moving, so it's fine.
Awesome. That is so awesome. So if you guys haven't checked it out, I mean, I don't mean to bring any more competition to it, but obviously it's good for everyone. Poshmark seems to be like a really, and I'm guilty of not doing it. I'm going to add to it. My only issue, the reason I didn't jump on it is because I sell a lot of guys' clothes. I sell Nike and Columbia and Under Armour, and so I don't know how.
Nike and Under Armour for sure.
Like a Columbia. Here in Florida, we get a lot of fishing shirts, like the Huck fishing.
Oh no, you're
Tommy Bahama.
No, you're not going to sell those brands on Poshmark, but you will sell like your Nike, your younger stuff on Poshmark. Anything you'd see at like a Plato's Closet is going to sell on Poshmark.
Yeah. We have 7 Plato's Closets in my area, so I'm definitely going to look into it tomorrow. That's awesome. Like, and this is what I learned from you. Like, I watch you and I watch everybody else that does this stuff, and so and I keep preaching this to my audience. You have to learn a little bit from everybody, because what I know about and what you know about are 2 totally different things. You know, the electronics and my guys' clothes, your girls' clothes, your accessories. Poshmark's good for purses, wallets.
All that stuff.
Yeah, some other stuff that goes along. So if you're thinking about selling on there, it's definitely, to check out some of the other things. What are your favorite things overall to sell, just in general, any platform? What do you think, like, the most?
Okay, so I recently ditched all hard goods because I decided over the summer that, like, I just want to sell what I want to sell, right? And I'm lucky enough that I've grown my store and that I'm able to do that. I know in the beginning a lot of people can't do that. They can't pick and choose. They have to, whatever they can find that they know will make a profit, they have to pick up. But at one point I realized I don't like this stuff. It sits around forever because I don't want to deal with it. I just want to buy the stuff that I like. So I like clothing. I like shoes. I don't even like menswear. I'm thinking about ditching menswear too and just really starting to focus on, I don't like it. I don't photograph it. It doesn't happen for me.
There's no influence on that?
Joe buy it, whatever. I mean, if he picks it up and he brings it to me, he brought me a cool like Ren and Stimpy shirt the other day, so I bought it. If it's something I think is neat and interesting, sure. But I don't want to do like blazers or button-down shirts or things like that.
Really? I love the Tommy Bahama. We get a lot of that casual stuff here in Florida. We get a lot of Harley stuff because we have Daytona and Orlando and Biker Week. Like, Harley Davidson stuff sells super good, girls or guys. I just like that stuff. I guess because I'm a guy, I gravitate towards it more. I like the novelty stuff, the Ren and Stimpy, the Simpsons, or the Game Over that shows the wife dragging the husband. Stupid little T-shirts like that I sell for $14.99, or I pick them up for $1 all day. And so I like that stuff. I guess and see, that's the difference. You'll see that stuff on my channel and not Nicole. I thought Joe was that kind of guy though, that he'd be like, oh look, like Nike or like Ren and Stimpy and Harley and.
Joe has like way better taste in clothing than I do, and he knows like brands and stuff way better than I do. He knows streetwear really well, like your Supreme. I mean, everyone knows Supreme, but Joe knows the other 50 brands that Supreme people also like. He follows them on Instagram. Joe spends more money on clothes than I do.
Wait, can Joe do like a tutoring live show like once a week, like clothing for guys?
He should. He really should do like a streetwear. I feel like he would probably get beat up. That scene is like, they don't want you to talk about that, right? So, he'll tell me, he'll share screenshots and be like, oh, look at this cool thing. He just shared, what is it, like, this brand. He even knows, like, women's, up-and-coming brands.
Does he research, or is it just from being?
No, he just likes it. So Lazy Oaf, that's the brand he shared with me the other day. And I was looking at their stuff. I mean, their pieces always sell for $100.
What?
And they sell out immediately, so he knows all these like weird, he loves fashion. He won't tell you this. He's probably like, stop talking about me, but
he's gonna run in the other computer and be like, stop. No, that's awesome. Having that knowledge, like being able to help and see the both of you having that knowledge is completely awesome. Like I can't ask my mom. My fiance knows a lot of good fashion brands, so that's where I kind of try to keep up there. But I learned it from YouTube videos, just like everybody else that's watching this right now. So.
Yeah, and I know that people like to say like there's a lot of returns on women's clothes. I don't actually find that true. My return rate is usually right around 3 to 5%.
Yep, I'm right at 3% right now. So I have to agree with that. I don't see women are pickier, but I don't see the return rate being higher. A lot of them are happy with what they bought. I just don't see that. I had a guy return like a Columbia shirt the other day with measurements and everything. It just didn't fit. Like I felt like he had buyer's remorse. It was like a $25 shirt. And I was like, okay, it came back. It was perfect. The measurements were fine. And I'm like, that's really random. Like a guy shipping a fishing shirt back. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
It happens.
You just never know. You're going to get returns no matter what platform you're on. Poshmark doesn't allow returns, so it has to be like some major flaw. So of course I love that.
Score. Are you serious?
No, you have to send, and they do all the customer service. So like if they want to return it, they have to send pictures and proof to Poshmark in order to return it.
Wow, that's crazy. So, needless to say, for anybody that wants to know what I'm doing tomorrow, you guys probably know. Okay, so I mean we've covered a lot of stuff that you guys have asked. There's so many questions, and the chat has been nuts. I've been trying to watch it, and it's scrolling like way faster than I can even read.
I'm really thankful Joe's answering most of the questions pointed at us in there, so thank you.
Yeah, I saw Joe responding to a ton, so thank you, Joe, Nicole's other handsome half. Thank you very much for responding, because I can't keep up with all these. Zero return rate. How do you have it? I'm going to read some of these through some of this chat. So if you have some questions, please toss them out there, and I'll answer a few. We'll do like some quick questions here. Fishing shirt advice. Here in Florida, Tommy Bahama and Columbia sell the best. I sell a ton of those. Definitely. Fishing shirts in Florida are like, and every time I sell a fishing shirt, it goes to someone in Florida, like almost every time. So, which sucks because I have to pay a whole bunch of sales tax.
Okay, so my Joe's best friend just moved to Florida, and she grew up in Portland, and she's like, everybody fishes down here. So her better half is, he goes out fishing like every day, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I was so confused when she was visiting, and she's like, yeah, they go out fishing. It's like a thing in Florida.
Yeah, so like people here, it's crazy. So everywhere obviously has water access. So everybody, even with like a couple $1,000 will buy like a little fishing boat, like just the basic whatever boat it is. And instead of going out for coffee on Saturday morning or going out for like a lunch with their friends, everybody jumps on a boat and goes fishing. I don't fish. I love being out on boats, but I don't fish. So like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. But fishing shirts brand new are very expensive, even at like Clearwater Beach or St. Pete Beach. If you try to buy a Tommy Bahama shirt at one of the stores, it's $80. It's $90. If you try to buy a Huck shirt, it's $99. If you try to buy even like a Columbia shirt, like a PFG shirt with the sun resistant stuff and the vintage shirts, they're like $70. So to go to the mall or something down there people hate that. So to go on eBay and buy it for $25 is phenomenal. And today I went to a very high-end neighborhood. I went to a really rich neighborhood. The Salvation Army is actually on the corner across from a house that's worth $5.5 million. And I bought a Huck fishing shirt for $3.99. We're about to list it.
Wait, what did you say?
I went to a Salvation Army today.
No, what brand was that?
It's Huck, H-U-K, Huck Fishing.
I've never even heard of that.
So they're vintage shirts. All the way down the sleeves and down the side are vintage. And the entire interior of the shirt is a sun-resistant material.
Oh.
Brand new, they run anywhere from $75 to like $150. They're very, very expensive. Even at the Huck outlet, which out by Orlando has all those outlets, they're like $50. I'm probably going to list this one for around $40 to $50. I bought it for $4 today.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's a once. I don't find those ever. Pretty much every once in a while, I find a lot. The Tommy Bahama shirt I bought today was $5. We'll probably list that for $20 or $25. But all those shirts down here, they're just super popular, and you will find them everywhere. And the neighborhood I was in was guys that probably go through those shirts once a year and wear them like, out fishing and then donate them to the Salvation Army, and you get them for like $4 or $5 like constantly. So, like, go to those high-end neighborhoods and look for these brands. Like,
I live in a high-end neighborhood. I'm really lucky, and I can tell you that is a true statement. So, like, I live in a neighborhood where there's 5 Intel campuses within driving distance, and then there's Nike World Headquarters, and you can't buy a house here for under $500,000 for the most part. It's kind of crazy. We rent a townhouse because we can't even afford to rent a house. But I have my sons in a really good school. And yeah, so I can tell you that the Goodwills near me are insane. So like I found a $1,500 dress right next to a $2,000 blazer. And, they were $10 and $25.
That's great. I don't know. I just don't.
That happens like almost every time I walk into these Goodwills. So I do have that advantage of living in a high-end neighborhood, but I'll also go into, the lower end neighborhoods and they won't know what they have. So they'll price the stuff way, way, way low.
That happens. So part of my issue was and you guys know I sell a lot on Amazon. Most of what I sell is video games and iPods, which I get from pawn shops, which is something a lot of the resellers don't do. I'm probably one of the only resellers on here that goes constantly to pawn shops. Trust me, I used to be anti-pawn shop. I used to be scared of pawn shops. I didn't even like driving past them. But now I source from there. So I'm always in bad neighborhoods because typically pawn shops are in bad neighborhoods. So I'm always in those low-end Salvation Armies and Goodwills. And I do. She's right. Like I found like Prada shoes that were real there. I found, all kinds of high-end stuff that they didn't know what they had. So you can definitely, both neighborhoods, but the high-end neighborhoods sell awesome, awesome stuff. I'm going to start going down there. It's like 30 minutes, but I love it. Steve Rakin is big on pawn shops. He used to be. I don't think Steve goes to pawn shops anymore. I don't know why, but, and I don't imagine he has the pawn shops I have. I have 36 pawn shops on one street. So.
We do have lots of people asking if we think the election is disturbing sales at all.
But I hope so, because if it's over and sales go up, I will be in dreamland.
So I read articles all the time, like, Business Insider sort of articles. I think it's important to keep up on that stuff because you are running a business. You have to treat it like a business.
Yes, you do.
You want to know that the retail trends are happening. You want to know all that stuff. And there are so many articles right now about how retail and the election go hand in hand.
It is. The election has a direct effect on the stock market, which has a direct effect on spending, even for everyday customers. Even if the stock market doesn't directly affect them, the scare factor happens and they won't go out and spend discretionary income on eBay or Poshmark or wherever. They won't just go spending. So you definitely should keep up on that. If your sales are down, it probably has something to do with world events or at least national events right now. So, and I heard that if Donald Trump wins tonight, which he's winning a lot of states right now, which is insane, that the stock market's going to crash tomorrow. Like they were estimating 600-point drop if he wins tonight. And I can't even imagine what would happen on a 600-point drop. I don't want to know. If my sales go down like the stock market would go down, I'm going to cry. The sales were a little slow in October to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's winning.
He's winning. He's ahead in all the swing states. He's ahead in Florida and Ohio and I think North Carolina. I mean, if he doesn't win, it's not going to be by much. I'm just kind of keeping a quick little eye on it. Whatever. We're much closer than the election. Forget that.
Oh gosh, we're so close to finding out who's going to win. We should just take questions until then, and we can be the resellers who announce the winning candidate.
If Trump wins, everything in Casey's store is free. No, I have 1,700 items. Even at $10 average, that's $17,000. No. Get out of here. Nothing's free in my store. Maybe I'll give away something if he wins, but I'm not giving away.
You're going to give away something if Trump wins?
Maybe. Maybe like a necktie. I'll give away my Trump tie. I will give away the Trump tie that I did not sell this week. I sold all my Trump ties except one. I have one left. I will give it away. I swear I will. If he wins tonight.
Have you been selling them really well? Because
yes, of the election? I sold one just what did we sell? Sunday night. We shipped it yesterday. It sold for $12, $12.50, something like that. I bought it for like a quarter. I sold 2 Trump dress shirts for like $20 a piece, just plain dress shirts. Nothing fancy. They didn't have any collars like this. They didn't have any of the sleeves. They were just plain button-down, like yellow and white dress shirts, $20 a piece.
Oh my gosh. Someone's asking about a consignment sale. So I am doing that, which is another way to bring in money.
Yes, I got offered that directly from a customer. It's an estate sale that they were planning on having, but the company or the person they hired ditched on them, so they contacted me to come consign the merchandise, which...
Oh, I'm not doing that. That's interesting. This is something anyone could do. They don't have to be contacted. So they have like kids consignment sales that happen, like, usually 2 or 3 times a year, like pass it on and.
Oh, I got you.
Huge. They take over the convention center and it's all consignment, and the moms print the tags and they put the tags on, they take it in, and then they get 65 to 75% of the sale.
Again, we don't have that here, but I have heard of them, and people.
No, I'm sure you do. You probably just don't know about them. Trust me, they're U.S. wide. I'm gonna look up right now. Kids consignment in Florida.
The convention set, like they have them at like big gathering places, right? Because somebody told me about it in Maryland, where I used to be from, that they had it at like an arena or something. I live in Tampa, so if that helps the city.
It looks like there is Pass It On in where you live, actually.
Play it against.
So they only happen a couple times. Okay, but here's the point of this. So they only happen a couple times a year. They're all over the place. So there's like 20 that happen around here. But what you do is you take. So I go to the bins a lot, and I just pick up these kid clothes that cost me like $0.25, and then I just tag them and I take them in, and then usually I'll make $400 or $500 off a sale.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking at what you're looking at now. It looks like they just had one last month, October 2nd.
Yeah, they usually have them in the spring and the fall. I only do them because I want to source them. And in order to get a pre-pass, so you get in like a day early to the sale, you have to consign with them or work one of their shifts. And so I like sourcing them because you can get a lot of kid stuff, like the lovey blankets and all of the toys and stuff, which I don't really do, but I could. And I know kid clothing really well. So, and you can get crazy prices because the moms are pricing things. So a lot of the time they're either really overpriced or really underpriced.
Like they're just trying to get rid of stuff on the underpriced people, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a yard sale, essentially.
That's awesome. Golden Age, I'm from St. Pete. I'm about 45 minutes from the beaches in St. Pete. I used to do kids clothes. We used to go around on like Craigslist and people selling their whole kids collection. We used to offer them like if they had $1 an item, we'd offer them like $50 for everything. And we'd make lots on eBay and sell them. Like we have a lot of experience with kids clothes, so that's something I'm going to look into. So you guys are learning. Look at this. Every time people have live shows, right along with me, you guys get to learn stuff. So I didn't know anything about. I knew about them. I've heard about them, but I didn't know they were here. I've never seen them here, so I'm gonna.
So you have to do it because if you pick up this stuff at the bins and you just store it in tubs for a couple months, they're not really brand specific. They're more like style. And even if you make so much money, you spend $100, you make $5. It's so.
People told me the same thing. Every $100 they were spending, they were 3-4 times their money.
Yeah, so. And it does take work, but if you hire someone, you just have someone do it. It's one of those jobs where they're just printing and either using a tag gun or safety pinning it onto the clothes. Yeah,
that's really good. I'm gonna look for their spring show. I've been thinking about like ways because we're stuck in our world of like eBay, Amazon. So that's why I've asked about Poshmark, asked about this. Like I want to expand different ways, and eventually I want another employee. So my mom's retired. She's older. I can't count on her for a long period of time. At some point I'm going to have to get another, get rid of my mom or just expand and get full-time, employees.
So are you selling to Plato's Closet at all? Or are you doing Craigslist at all?
I'm taking some stuff in. We have a lot of Plato's Closet. We have like 7. Literally within an hour, we have 7 Plato's Closets. The guy that started Plato's Closet originally lives here. I used to own a detail business 10 years ago, but when I was working full-time before I resold, and I detailed his Hummer. Like years and years ago, I knew the guy that started. He owns 21 Plato's Closets, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's super cool guy. And I've gone in there many, many times. The ones around here, they're iffy at best, but I mean they'll do okay. They'll buy a little bit. Stuff you bought for $1 at the bin, they'll give you $4 or $5 for. So I mean, you can do okay. It's not like you can't if you have stuff that's not moving or stuff that you would pass on. Then it's worth grabbing it. Like I pass on a lot of American Eagle shirts that I know on eBay would be like $7 or $8 shirts. If they don't sell, then you can take it into them and you'll get like $4 for it or $5. But it's something I might have paid 75 cents or $1 for. So a little bit. As far as buying from them, I feel like our Plato's Closets are high here. I feel like they're expensive.
Yeah, I feel like you guys, your bin price is more than mine too.
It's $1.49 a pound.
Yeah, I'm at 99 cents.
The ones in Disney are 99 cents, which is another reason I should drive an hour. And
you can go out there like once a week or something. It's worth it.
It's literally like I used to go to Orlando once every other week because they have so many pawn shops, and I would go to the bins in the morning and shop from like 8 a.m. to noon, and then go to the pawn shops from noon to 4, and then drive the hour and a half back. But It's such a long day. Like an hour and a half over at 6:30 in the morning, hour and a half back at 5 o'clock in that traffic on I-4 from Orlando to Tampa. You might as well call it like if you leave at 5, you're going to get home at like 8. It's
Oh my God.
the worst. The worst.
That is hard. So people are asking about brands, like kid brands to source. Kid brands are hard. Here's the thing. This is what I tell people. I never give people just a straight brand list because you're going to find things that are different than me. So this is what you need to do. And I take this like very serious. Go into eBay. Look at the solds in your area. Do like a 50-mile radius search and then filter from there. But filter very simply. Just put in shirt and then select the category. So children's clothing, right? Children's clothing, shirt, whatever. And then search within 50 miles of your house and then filter for price as well. So do from like 20 to 50. Do like, you know, from 10 to 50, you know, the price range that you want to be at, and filter that because that's what you're going to find. You're not going to find the same stuff I'm finding because we're in, you know, just like we're having all these conversations about all the different things that happen, way different. So you're got to filter it by your location.
Exactly. Yeah. That's one thing a lot of people never sourced or never filtered by was zip code or area code or whatever location. And I always filter by my area. I look at everything nationwide, but I always end at within 50 or 100 miles of my area for sure. It gives me that local, you know, what I can do versus what you can do, but it also shows me what other people in my area and my competition are, because a lot of people don't realize when people are shopping on there, they're sorting by location as well. So you can see your direct competition and what's available in your area. Because when I buy on eBay, like my pool pump just went bad. And I don't want to buy from California and wait 5 days to get it. I need my pool pump now. So I'm looking within 50. I want to try to find something for sale in Orlando or Tampa or even Miami so I can get it. You know, if somebody puts it in the mail tomorrow, I'll have it the next day. So that gives you a really good idea. That's a great tip to like sort by your area.
Yeah, I think it's super important to sort by your area. And I like to just sit. Last night I was kind of doing a hangout with a friend and we started talking about brands and stuff. And I literally just like, she was watching me sort, like, I just sit and I research what I want to find. You know, like the market's ever changing for clothing. And so I'm always looking almost daily to see what's selling around me, what people are finding, you know, because then I know I can find that and I can sell it.
That's true. That's and a lot. I always hear people only sort by the brand or the name and not by their area. So definitely, if you're not, sort by your area. Look what's close by to you. That's a great.
And that's one thing you can do to improve your sales is make sure that you're researching.
Yeah, research is 50% of the job. If you can't look stuff up and you're not prepared when you get to the store, it doesn't matter how many stores you go to or how good of stuff they have. If you don't know, you're either going to pass it or you're not going to buy right. You're going to pay too much or you're whatever the case might be. So research, research, research. I lay in bed every night and I watch 5 to 10 YouTube videos and I sit and research a dozen items every single night while I'm in bed. Every night.
That's crazy. I mean, I kind of do the same thing, I guess. Yeah.
I literally sit right here and I will watch a couple videos and I'll see Nicole be like, hey, ABC Clothing is off the hook. I will be on eBay like, ABC Clothing, what in the hell is that? Like scrolling for an hour.
That's what I have to do. I have to do that too. And, you know, you can write down every brand that a reseller says or every brand, you know, you have to take bits and pieces from every single person out there. And then you have to do your own research and figure it out because that's where you're going to.
Notepads for the win. Trust me, guys. Everything Nicole and Steve and Megan and everybody says is in Notepad.
Oh my God, you have a list?
I have a list of everything. I keep brands, I keep stores.
No, you don't.
Yes, everything. If I hear a brand that looks reasonable, it goes in my phone. Because I'll be at the store and I'll be like I'll see ABC Clothing and I'm like, what the hell did she say the other night? And I'll look it up and I'll be like, oh, she said CDE Clothing, not ABC Clothing. And I'll be like, nope, pass, that's garbage. So then I'll scroll, be like, wait a minute, she said ABC. Yes, we're getting that. So I've learned a lot of brands from people online. Like, I don't know everything. There's no way to possibly remember everything. Like, you can't.
You know what I like to do? This is like another thing I do is I like to go on Instagram and I like to hashtag things. So I'll hashtag Goodwill Finds.
Yep.
And I'll look at the hashtag for Goodwill Finds and I'll see what people are, you know, are buying from Goodwill because a lot of people aren't resellers. They're just, you know, they're happy they found this at Goodwill.
Oh yeah, yeah. People that buy stuff for themselves and don't resell, it's really hard to find them if you're just following the reseller. So
Yeah, so I like to look outside the like reseller box on Instagram, and I like to look at like what the shoppers are doing.
stalker.
I'm a crazy stalker.
But I made an entire video on how to stalk other eBay sellers, so I'm guilty, I guess.
Do you have a video about stores? I get this question a lot, like when should someone get a store? People are asking in the chat as well.
All the time.
So when should people get a store?
So it's twofold. It's one is cost of doing business versus cost of having a store. The basic store works out to a break-even point around 66 items. So which means if you're listing 66 items on eBay at the regular listing cost, as opposed to paying for the store, you will come out above at item 66 by having a basic store. Now, I'm not saying you have to list 66 items because a store has a lot of advantages that are worth spending the money on. For example, the increase in search rankings, the ability to categorize your items, the ability to run a sale. All of those are worth the $20 for having a basic store. I would say it doesn't matter how many items you're listing, you should definitely have a basic store if you're going to be an eBay seller, at least a basic store.
So for me, what even comes along with this is I have a hard time answering this because I have an anchor store. Number-wise, there's no reason for me to have an anchor store. Look, I will never hit the amount of listings that I could get even from the premium, right? The middle one.
Yeah. So
but you know what I want? I want that phone number. That is literally why I have the anchor store. Do you know how many good how much stuff I've learned from them when you call in, even with a problem, and they want to talk to you about other things? Like, why aren't you running your sales this way? Hey, you should be doing this. And it's like, oh, I'm getting consulting from an eBay rep, but not any eBay rep. They only have the eBay reps that actually know the rules, know what they're doing. They're very vetted in there, so you're not calling just any eBay rep. You're calling an eBay rep who actually knows what's happening.
We're in the good old USA.
Yeah, but do you have an anchor store?
No, I have a premium, and here's the reason I haven't done the anchor store. The only reason I'm with you, I would never hit the number. So I think the number to have a premium store for me was like 350 items is the cutoff to like make up for the money. The upgrade from basic to premium didn't help me in any other way other than saving those listings. From premium to anchor store is 2,400 items, I believe, which is bonkers. I only have 1,700 items in my store, and we don't list more than...
I have 600 items in my store.
Which is, your sell-through rate is like 3.5 times mine or 4.5. I don't know. It's like 3.5 or 4. Your sell-through rate is ridiculous, like crazy ridiculous. But most people do between 1% and 2% a day, and you're doing like 5.5 to 7.5. Your sell-through rate's nuts. Which just means you're targeting brands that are more popular and selling,
selling them cheap too. I mean, honestly, a lot of them I just auction off.
Some of your stuff is cheap, but some of your stuff is premium pricing. Like you get prices. If you look at similar items, like you have a $25 item, other people are letting it go for $20. You're just getting it because of feedback or photos or search, being higher in the search ranking. So you do get higher prices on a lot of stuff for sure. I mean, it's a combination of both. But your sell-through rate is just ridiculously high. Like compared to almost every other reseller, you're higher.
You know what? I don't know if you believe in this or not, but what helps me a lot is, so I run these auctions and I have auctions ending every day. I usually sell about $10 or $100 in auctions every day. And some of them go for really low, but I feel like I'm selling so much and my sell-through rate is higher, so it's pushing my higher dollar items to the top of best match.
I wonder.
eBay sees me as a seller who's constantly selling stuff.
I wonder
so that's helping.
Yeah, I wonder if that's part of the algorithm. Beyond all the things that we've talked about before, the search rankings and the impressions and all that, I wonder if your sales through rate through your account helps your other items. And I think it does. I absolutely think it does. Because on days, like everybody always asks me, like someday I won't sell anything, and the next day I sell 20 items. And I think it's once you start getting on a roll selling items and your sell-through rate goes up, it automatically pushes your other items up. And I think.
And this is, I want to ask you something, and this is totally like me speculating. Do you believe that like listing times matter? Like what time of the day you're listing matters? This is for a fixed item. This is not like an auction. This is just a fixed item price.
Yeah, I mean, so I know that sales times are set. Like the times that I sell items, the time of day that I sell items is almost always the same. But as far as when I listed it, I mean, I guess because it's a newer item. So like I sell a lot of crap. I sell a ton of stuff between 5:30 and 8:30 every day. Because I come home at 5 to 6 o'clock every day. And when I come home, my phone goes nuts. So if I list if I come right home and I clear all the drafts and get them up, that stuff starts selling because it's a newer item. So I think listing stuff pre-dinner time is probably a good idea. I don't think it matters what day, but it definitely matters like that dinner time, East Coast dinner time, at least for me, between 5 to 6, all the way up to 8 to 9, my phone goes bananas. While I'm out sourcing, I'll sell a few items, but that dinner time range for me is absolutely insane. So if I get home late and I don't clear the drafts and they don't go up till later, I notice my sales are lower. But if I get home at 5 o'clock and I go right on my computer and I price everything and hit list and then they all go up, everything starts selling. And the other thing I do when I come home every day is I look at all the items ending today and I end them manually and then I sell similar to get them back up. And I'll sell a couple of those items every single day.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I really believe that start time on your listings is crucial. I think that like doing the same thing every day is also crucial. So being very consistent. So I like to start items 2 times a day, and I like to do it about the same time every single day.
How does that work with you being West Coast time? What's the time?
I don't share that with people because, and I'm not trying to be greedy with that information at all. No, because this is why I'm telling you. Your time is different than my time. I can already tell you from what you told me when your sales times are different than mine. So people need to figure out when their popular sales times are, and that's when they should be listing.
That's true. It is going to be different between if you're out in California or Oregon versus us here in Florida or New York or whatever. That's definitely, because remember when my dinner time is at 5 or 6, everybody over in Oregon and California is still working, or they're not even home. They're getting their kids from school or whatever. So
what I tell people is to whatever your most popular times of sales are through the day, and like you said, they're set. You're seeing it every day. Those are the times when you should be putting your listings up. And so I like to be a couple days out, and I just schedule my listings.
Gotcha. So you should research. If you don't know what times are good for you, then post a bunch of items at dinner time, post a bunch of items at lunchtime or morning or whatever, and then keep an eye on, make yourself a little list of which items you listed at what time, or keep an eye on your actives and find out which ones sold. And you'll find out quick. It'll only take a week or 2 and you'll figure it out. I'm still curious the West Coast. I'm so far behind the West Coast. I'm just guessing. But you guys will figure it out. God, we have so many comments. I'm not even watching.
I'm trying to keep up, and it's really crazy in here right now. I can't. So scrubs, people are saying scrubs sell well. That's a true statement.
They do. I sell a lot of scrubs. I just sold a 101 Dalmatian scrub for $12.50 yesterday. It was $1 at the Salvation Army half off day. So you won't get a fortune on scrubs. You're going to get between 10 and 15 on them, but sometimes you can walk into stores and get them for like 99 cents a piece. So
Brandy, Brandy, I want to take this question. She's really confused about if she should get a store or not. Just get a store. It's not, so the eBay calculator might not tell you need one, but you can't mark things down. That's huge. Running a sale, sending emails out, all these promotions you can do. You're not just the 20% off your whole store. You can do multi promotions at the same time. There's so much that you can do. Spend the $20 and you're going to see an increase in sales. Guaranteed.
Think this is how I always tell people, because I agree. The extras that you get are worth far more than the savings on the insertion listings that you're going to make up for $20. Think about profiting $10 an item. You only need to sell 2 extra items from all the extras you'll get from having a store. The sales, the promotions, the extras. If you can't sell 2 extra items from having a store, then you're probably not in the right business. Get a store. At least pay the $20. Please pay the $20 to get a store. Don't go crazy if you're not a big seller. Start with the basic store, and you'll figure out when you need the premium store once you start listing enough. But always have a basic. It's $20 a month. That's less than the coffee maker that Nicole threw in the trash or did whatever with.
I gave it to my father-in-law.
Then the coffee maker Nicole donated to the good cause. So
how do you get a store?
There's an eBay store subscription page. If you just Google eBay store subscription, or go up to the help bar and search eBay subscription. You'll find it. And then it's just like one click. You just click the I agree, and they will they charge you on your invoice. So you don't have to pay it right away. It goes on your eBay invoice.
So if somebody asked me if I start auctions at 99 cents, I don't. So I'm a huge believer in free shipping. I still use free shipping on auctions. My minimum that I start them at is $7.95.
That's a good minimum. I was wondering about that. I've been starting the few, and I haven't been a big proponent of auctions, but I have to agree, if you're going to do the auction, to stick with your free shipping. If you do free shipping, don't change it up. And then, pick that minimum price that you need to get for an item and start the auction. So
like pants are 15. Joe got mad at me a few months ago and just told me I couldn't sell pants for under $15. So I'm not allowed to sell pants for under $15 anymore. So
that's a Pittsburgh Mike question, because he sells pants for like $12 all the time.
But he charges shipping, right? So I was charging free shipping.
Like $4.95 shipping.
Yeah, and so I was doing padded flat rates for a $10 sale, and then he's like, "Stop, just stop."
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah. So I guess Pittsburgh Mike's is minimum 15, so that's probably the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just do it. And sometimes it's a lot higher than that. It just depends on what the item is and what I want to start it at. And I always actually add in the buy it now. And it is amazing how many people, something will be sitting for, let's say, a month, and it will be at $14.95 for a month. No one buys it. I put it up for $17.95, buy it now, $7.95, auction. They buy it because they're afraid someone's going to bid on it and they're not going to get it.
Because once somebody bids on it, they've got them beat. Yeah, they don't want to get into that bidding war. They don't want to get into the maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. So yeah, they're kind of pushing them along. And
they know they have a week to do, or 5 days. I do 5 days, so they only have 5 days to do it. So they're like, oh shoot, I better just buy this thing.
That's a question I get a lot too: is how long to run auctions? If you're a buy it now seller and you start sending some of your items to auction, how long to do it? I have a couple people that do 7 days, Sunday to Sundays.
I don't believe so. This is me. I'm wrong about things all the time, but for me personally, I don't believe that Sunday is the only day you should end auctions. I do every single day. Every day ends about the same. It's about $100. I'm telling you, I do 20 to 30 a day. And Sundays are, you guys, look, we are on mobile now. You get a notification when your auction is ending. It doesn't matter where you are. You can see that your auction is ending. Okay. So it's not like you have to be home sitting in front of your computer like you did 5 years ago. It's just not the same.
Yeah, that's so true. Because if you're the person watching the auction, you're right. It doesn't matter where you are. But get them going. Start sending stuff to auction, especially if you have slow moving items or items you relisted last month. If they didn't sell, just send them to auction, and you'll see the difference. Even if it's just like $100 or $200 a week, it's extra money that you had that was just sitting. They want to know about your women's dress pants.
I do really well with women's dress pants, actually. So I pick them up at the bins, and no one else wants them. I get Ann Taylor, Loft, Ann Taylor.
Do you do New York & Company? I've sold a few pair of New York & Company.
Yeah, any nice-looking dress pants that have a name that go, those basic mall brand names. Because people don't, I only know this from when I got a job in the world where I had to wear slacks every day. I went to eBay because I didn't want to spend money on work clothes.
They're expensive.
They're expensive. I don't want to go out and spend $50, $75 on a pair of slacks. And I got to have 5 of them at least. Because when you're a woman, you can't wear the same pair of pants every day.
True. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't picked up more, but we actually see a lot of those. And I've sold quite a few pair, and I've gotten $15, $16, $18 out of them.
Yeah, my goal is like 15 to 20 on them. I price them low, and they fly out the door because no one else is selling them. And they always have the name of what they are. So they'll be like a Jolene fit or like whatever fit that it is.
The limited has that. I've sold quite a few pair of those.
Yeah, and people know what fit they like, and they buy them.
Very true. Yep, there's Al Ratchet is New York & Company and Loft Pants. Yeah, they both sell. Limited is one I sold a lot. I sold Guess. Guess sells some dressier pants sometimes. They're more like the person that doesn't have to be suit dressed up but still goes to work in decent pants. So I sell a lot of Guess stuff, actually. I bought some Guess stuff today. Can you sell that stuff on Poshmark? I would imagine you could. No?
It's not going to move on Poshmark.
No, the younger, trendier crowd's probably not buying business stuff. So
yeah, and it's not an impulse buy. Dress pants are not an impulse buy. you're going to buy those because you need them.
Very good point.
They're a necessity. So what about, this is a good question. How do you know if your listing is mobile friendly?
eBay listing? Mobile friendly? If you're talking about eBay listing, so I list on mobile. So,
oh, you do?
Yeah, we do all of our listings mobile. I know how all you guys do your listings.
No, okay. I did that for years.
No, so like a lot of people do half and half. I know some people do their listings on desktop and take the photos on mobile and finish it, or vice versa. I've seen both people do both ways. Like, but everything we do, like your new phone cameras, like this is I just got a 7 Plus, but even when I had a 6, like the photos that we take are plenty good. You know, set up the mannequins, set up the whatever, and I feel like they work. The photos work just the same, so we can just run through it. But if you're listing mobile, then you can. I was trying to find a draft. Like, okay, so here's a loading draft. I'm on Wi-Fi. Go figure. So your stuff will be mobile friendly. You know, photos, and then you just run right down the list of mobile, and it goes right up. I mean, it's very easy to fill out. And of course, I've showed you guys how to, you know, do a pre-made templates for every type of item that you would possibly want to list. So you can just one click put it in there.
I think that making sure there's no HTML in your listing is probably the most important thing you can do.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we do. So when you go into details, at least on mobile, I don't know about a desktop. I haven't listed on desktop. So you'll get the option right there at the top in the description, standard and HTML. Just run it standard, and then we have pre-made copy and pasted templates, and then we just fill in the measurements, description, color, whatever it is, and then
mine works the same way, just desktop.
Yeah, it's been God. I haven't listed an item on desktop in so long. I can't even tell you. I have no idea how long it's been. We do all mobile, and that's because of we don't have one set place that we take photos and mannequins. I have 3 sets of mannequins at her sister's house, here, and at where my mom is. So.
Do you not have a warehouse? I thought you had a warehouse or something.
A little office. The problem is everybody lives in a different little spot, so everybody going to the office, call it storage. That's essentially what it is storage.
Yeah.
Literally storage. But like, so like all the stuff that I have to list, our death pile is at the office. My Amazon video games, which are on bookshelves, we know all that Amazon stuff is there. All of our supplies, our boxes, we keep enough here to pack and ship during the day. But we try to work out of our houses. My mom's retired. I don't want her driving all day. So I give her the mannequins, and she makes all the drafts. And then, because I'm out every day, I just swing by her house, and I grab everything and take it to the office once she's done listing. She keeps a male and a female mannequin in her house and just waits for me to drop off the bag of clothes for her to list. So it's just really easy. She's got a backdrop. My dad built like a background piece, and she threw the material over. So yeah, our office is more storage. We don't work.
Yeah, I'm really lucky that it's gonna get complicated soon, but I live in a townhouse, and the first floor has just a garage and a room, and the room is behind the garage, so you have to like leave the house to go into the room. So I use it as my office because it's so separate from the house.
I just looked at a house in one of the neighborhoods behind us that had the same thing. It was originally a mother-in-law suite. You would walk out the back door to like a carport area, and then to the right was a door that went into the garage, and above the garage and behind the garage was a whole area that could have been a business. I wanted to buy it so bad, but it sold like the first day it was for sale. So.
Oh, we're gonna move probably this summer because the kids have to share a room right now because of taking this.
Because eBay has overtaken the world.
Yeah, they really need their own room, so we're gonna move into a house hopefully, and then I want to get an office outside of this, like an actual office, and then hire 3 more people in the spring when it's slow.
Yeah, that's the thing you have to think about too. If you want to expand, you can't be having like 4 people come to your house. So you have to really think about that, going forward. So I'm on the same boat. Next year we're having a wedding. We're not married yet. We're going to be married next year.
Oh, awesome! Congratulations.
Thank you. She's hanging out there.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Yeah. So that's next year. So obviously the year that you get married is not the year that you have a whole bunch of extra money to put towards a down payment. So.
No.
So
I'm buying a house next year, by the way, because I'm putting all the money into my business.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. But 2018 is going to be the year to. I've been thinking about. I saw a business or a company, a house / company for sale, and the guy had a piece of property with a nice house on it. The house wasn't extravagant, but it was nice. But about 200 yards from his house, all the way up his driveway, was a garage that had been turned into an air-conditioned internet office for his business. He ran like a $2 million business out of this garage. It was like a 4-car garage, 1,000 square feet. But his employees had a key to the door of the garage, and they pulled in there every day, and that's where they worked without having to go into his house. So I've kind of been looking at like something like that. Like instead of putting $1,000 extra into a bigger office, like buying a house and putting $1,000 extra into a mortgage with a piece of property that has a big garage that I can turn into a working facility. You know, like
yeah. We live in a city, so it's really hard to find anything like that. Everything that we're going to buy is going to be like right next to somebody and all that good stuff.
Yeah, most of our areas this way. This was out of the way. This was kind of farther than I wanted to be, but the property was perfect. But I don't know if I want to live that far from the city. I like living in the city where I can get to stores and source. So
right, with our job especially. So yeah, so I'm just going to try and rent like a warehouse and then hire 3 more people. And the girl I'm training right now, will be the manager. And then I'll have a dedicated shipper, I'll have a dedicated photo person, and I'll have a dedicated lister.
Yes.
And then I won't have to do any of the stuff I don't want to do anymore. And then I'll just be able to source. And I really want to start sourcing store returns and things like that, where it's actually brought to my warehouse and dropped off, and I'm not going to Goodwill every day.
Yep. That's the goal, to have stuff shipped in for sure. Don't let your employee see this video though, because she's going to think she's on the fast track to management. Just saying.
Oh, she already knows. No. I'm very open with her, and I tell her, hey, this is my goal for next year. Are you going to be able to handle this? And if you can't, this isn't the job for you.
Well, good prep. I told my mom that, and she reminded me that she was my mom, and it didn't work out so good. Oh God, I'm watching this election. This election's getting serious. So
no, what's happening? Let's talk about this for like.
Trump's going to win Florida, and he's winning a bunch of states that he wasn't supposed to win. So.
Oh, Trump won. I mean, he did at this point, right? Like.
Well, she just won California, which is a huge amount of votes, but he just won North Carolina, and he's about to win Florida, which is 2 states that, if he won, put him in pretty good position. So.
But he'll win. She'll win Washington.
Yes, she'll win Washington, Oregon, and California. Which are
won Oregon and California, so Washington she'll win.
Yeah. But Trump is winning the other states that he was maybe going to win, not supposed to win. This is going to be a very, very down to the end. We may not know who wins this election for probably 2 or 3 in the morning, if I had to guess.
Cool. Can't wait.
Great. Something to stay awake to.
Oh, my gosh. So I guess we should wrap this up then. We've been on for an hour and a half.
We have been. That's insane, and I appreciate you hanging out. And most of all, I appreciate everybody else who hung out here for an hour and a half and who was excited. We finally got this video in. I want to leave you guys, before we roll, either next week or the week after, we'll get together and figure it out. I'm going to be over on Nicole's channel.
Yeah, we'll do a second round, and then I'll ask you all the questions.
Round 2, and I'm going to let Nicole come up with all the questions, everything she wants to come up with. I'll get you guys the date, and then it will be on her channel as a live event, so you guys have to check that out. I'm going to edit this description box at the end with a direct link to her YouTube channel. So you guys will be able to click right on over there and subscribe and come over for next week.
Oh, and you guys should, if you are not following me on Instagram, really, that is like the most important, because we have so much fun over there. I'm hosting, you have to sign up this week, so I have to say it right now. I'm hosting a thrifting Christmas gift swap.
Yes, so, I saw that. So her Instagram is already down in the description box. It's States Place. Can I put a URL link, or is it just at States Place, right?
You can just find me on States Place. It's pretty easy on Instagram, but we have 100 people signed up so far, and it's closing next Monday. It's on a website, so it's all pretty automated and easy to do, and it's going to be super fun. And I know sometimes, you know, it gets lonely being a reseller and working at home by yourself, and I always have done this to build a community, and so this is one of the things that we're doing this year.
Awesome. I actually saw it today, so I'm going to go over there and sign up for it.
Yeah, so someone's going to get you, and you're going to have to buy them a gift.
Secret Santas are so hard. No, I'm good at it. I'm a good gift giver, so I'll get it. So whoever gets me, you're very lucky. But it's State's Place. I'll link it down there along with the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, follow her on Instagram, and join us in the Christmas, the holiday, season spirit. And then next week or the week after, whatever day we get it going, we'll be on Nicole's channel on YouTube.
Perfect. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on here, and I can't wait to be on your channel. Thank you, everybody who's in the chat. Sorry we didn't get to every question. We saw how many you guys had, so we appreciate it. And go enjoy the election. Go enjoy your night, and we will see you guys very soon. Bye, everybody.